Alright, so we have the equation 6 divided by 2 open bracket 1 plus 2. And we're trying to find the solution of this entire expression or this equation. Now, we're going to use the idea of BEMDAS. Understanding this principle, B, you work out your brackets first. E, you handle any exponentials in the equation, which is powers. M, you handle the multiplication aspects, anything that you have to multiply one number by another or one factor by another factor. D, you divide after that. A, then you add, and lastly you subtract. So in an entire expression or equation, you handle things in this order. You do your brackets first, then your exponentials, then multiplication, then any division, then addition and subtraction. So let's get started on how we handle this. First of all, this expression 6 divided by 2 open bracket 1 plus 2 close bracket must be handled as a fraction, and I'm going to write it as a fraction because this part of the entire equation, 2 open bracket 1 plus 2 close bracket, must be done together. You cannot separate it. The common mistake that would be made would be to take on 6 divided by 2 as one part of the equation and then put it back after you have solved it into the equation and multiply it by whatever you work out in the bracket. So doing that, you would have the bracket 1 plus 2 is 3, then do the division first, 6 divided by 2, and then multiply, which would give you 3 times 3, which is 9. However, this is not a correct answer because in using this principle, you have to multiply first before doing division. And this is what is accepted worldwide. Okay? So, first thing we're going to do is work out the bracket. 1 plus 2 is 3. Therefore, we would have the expression 6 divided by 2, open bracket 3, close bracket. What's next? After you do your brackets, you look for your exponentials. We have no exponentials to deal with in this equation, so we're going to leave that out. The next thing you do is multiply. Now, let's take this, and if we reversed it and did BEDMAS and had to divide, you would still have to divide 6 by the expression 2, open bracket, 3, close bracket, which means you would have to solve this first before moving on to do that division because you have 2 different expressions in the denominator. So let's just simplify the denominator by multiplication. 2 times 3 is 6, so you're going to end up with 6 divided by 6, and then after that you do your division. 6 divided by 6 equals 1, and this is the answer you're supposed to get. Now, in entering this type of information into a calculator, if you're going to use a scientific calculator, by entering it straight off, 6 divided by 2 open bracket 1 plus 2, the calculator basically reads expressions and equations in the form of a sentence from left to right, and it works things out in that manner. So whatever it sees from left to right, that's what it works out. Therefore, your calculator would first of all divide 6 by 2 and then multiply by the bracket, which is 1 plus 2, which would give you 3 times 3, and you get 9. However, you cannot enter this equation into a calculator like this. If you wanted to enter it into a scientific calculator, this is how you do it. 6 divided by open bracket 2, then next bracket 1 plus 2, close that bracket, and then close the entire bracket. If you want to, you can use square brackets if your calculator allows that. I know that the Casio calculators do that. So you would have 6 divided by open bracket 2, open bracket 1 plus 2, close that bracket, and then you close the entire bracket, because like I said earlier, this part of the equation, 2, open bracket 1 plus 2, close bracket, must be handled as one number. You're handling this as one number. So hopefully that clarifies things, and In closing, 6 divided by 2 open bracket 1 plus 2 using the principles of mathematics equals 1. I challenge you to go ahead and do your own research into the question, and hopefully this enlightens you. Thanks.